From that, I got some tips for day wedding that I think are very, very important. Okay, so I'm going to go over these tips with you. And if you ever have a day wedding or any wedding, really follow these tips. But especially if you have a wedding that starts at 11 a.m., that you got to dance people at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, this is what you need to do. Okay, this is what you need to do. Now, tip 1, stop saying evening. I did this over and over and over again the other day. I actually fucked this up mad. Like I was trying to, like, I'm always like, good evening, this evening, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? I'm referring to the time of day as evening. You got to say afternoon, right? But with that being said, right, obviously don't say evening all the time, replace it with afternoon so it makes sense. Don't like reference the time of day every 5 seconds, okay? I don't agree with that, right? You don't want to remind people. I mean, this was tough for me because this venue in particular had windows. Like the ballroom had windows all the way around. So like there was some ballrooms have no windows. So they can't really, a guest might forget what time it is, right? Get drunk and whatever, and it's dark in there. They can't even tell it's light out. And then it's one of those things where like the wedding's done, you go outside, holy shit, it's still bright out, right? Not in this venue, windows everywhere. But regardless, I'm not trying to point out that, hey, it's super early or, hey, good morning or I hope nobody's sleepy, like don't make any references, right? No jokes, nothing, because you don't want people to think about it. You want people to rage. You want people to just act like they would normally act at a wedding, only it's earlier in the day. Okay, so don't reference the time of day. Now, tip number 3: no breaks. Now, some of you might tear up about this a little bit. All right, some of you might cry a little. What do you mean? I need a break. I have to have a break. If you smoke cigarettes or if you have to eat, right? You're all about like, the food, and you gotta take your union mandated 15-30 minute, dinner break and eat your food. You do you, boo boo. Okay, you do you. It's all good. But in my opinion, to me, when it's a day wedding, you can't be having no breaks. I don't want autoplay or a mix to be on for a second. Every second counts. It's very important. Everything you play, everything I played on Saturday for my day wedding was calculated. Everything. I was watching reactions the entire time. It's extra scoping, figuring out what works best, what's not working, with everything. Like every second counts. You want to stack every card in your favor. Okay. And to me, even if it's a 5-10 minute break, you're going to miss out on something. A lot of times, like in this venue in particular, they served us after they served the guests. So guests are getting done eating as I'm going to go eat. So there's going to be that lull period. You can lose people, right? It's early. Like you don't want to risk anything. So no breaks. I was there. I didn't eat. I was watching. The second people were done eating, I went in. I couldn't waste the time. I couldn't waste a second, right? And the second people are slowly getting done eating, right? They're slowly, like I could see they got a couple bites left, right? I'm watching the progression of their meals and shit. I'm picking up the pace, right? I never played any slow stuff, which is another tip, but like I'm slowly picking up the pace and building it up as I'm watching at the progression of them eating their dinner or their lunch or whatever, right? That's another thing. Say lunch instead of dinner. I'm literally building it up on purpose, right? Watching every move. So when it comes to cocktail hour and all music in general, my next tip is upbeat. You need to keep it upbeat. Tell the couple when you're planning them, if they suggest like, oh yeah, we just want like a chill cocktail hour and they have a day wedding, that's the one and only time I'm going to be like, nah, wouldn't do that. This is why, right? And guide them the right way. Say, listen, cocktail hour is going to be at noon. And some people might have just woke up. Some people might have worked late. Some people, whatever. You know what I mean? You don't know what the situation is. You definitely want to keep it upbeat. You don't want to give anybody a chance to just get tired and lethargic. I'm going to say nostalgic. Lethargic. You don't want to give anybody a chance to do that. Plus, on top of it, when you're creating a great vibe, right? If it's a good vibe for cocktail hour and people are kind of bopping and whatever, they're going to forget what time of day it is and they're going to have extra drinks, okay? You're going to motivate them subconsciously to drink maybe a little more, to have that one extra drink, or maybe to drink at all. Some people go to day weddings, I'm sure, and say, you know what? I'm not drinking. It's too early. I don't want to drink. I'm not going to drink at this wedding. It's just a little too early. I'm trying to get things done later today. I'm not drinking, right? But maybe, just maybe, that cocktail hour playlist you put on, right? Or that custom mix you made or whatever you're doing for cocktail hour, maybe it was just upbeat enough. It had just the right vibe where people changed their mind. You know what? Maybe I'll have one. Maybe I'll have two. And before they know it, they're kind of loose and they're hopping on the dance floor for you. Okay. So like every minute, I can't stress this enough, especially with day weddings, every minute counts, including the cocktail hour. So I made sure I had a really cool cocktail hour mix. I made a mix ahead of time. I do that sometimes. Worst case, if I don't have time to do it, I'll make a playlist and kind of have that playing in the background with the DJ app using Beat Source. But I try and make a custom mix every time, like actually mix it. And, that's a future video in the future. But that way it's like, it's blended, it's beat mixed, it flows nice, it's in the right order, all that stuff, right? The key, everything. Like I think that's important. And the cool thing is when you make a lot of mixes, you can reuse those mixes. So you can, if you made a Rat Pack mix, I mean, plenty of people want Rat Pack Cocktail, acoustic, whatever. So the common ones, you're going to reuse a lot of the mixes, and and then other ones you just make them fresh, but you got them, right? So like I highly recommend that. But regardless, Upbeat Cocktail Hour, right? Then people were, and it worked because people were coming in the room. They were bopping. Santi was doing his opening set. I always have Santi open up for me, like he does the first when the doors open when I'm lining up bridal party and stuff. People were bopping, and it was a good vibe. Thank God, right? Next tip: mix everything. You should always mix everything, but it's very, very important. Very, 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 very important to do it like during this. Like very, very, very important. Okay? Like during a day wedding. Like everything needs to be mixed. Everything needs to be programmed. Everything. It's very, 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 very important. Okay? For the same reason why you would mix and beat mix and program during dancing, you want to do that exact thing during dinner. You're creating a vibe. You're assisting in people drinking a little extra. You're assisting with people singing along and whatnot, right? Some songs, if I drop a song at a day wedding and I go through the chorus and no one gives a shit, I get out early. I go into the next song because I don't have time. I don't have time for that shit, which is a whole nother tip, right? This one, no time for a song that doesn't mix, that doesn't work. Mix fast. At this wedding, I played Cardi B, and it was just Bodak Yellow, right? I was feeling it. I dropped it. And I watched the crowd, and like they knew it, they liked it, but I felt like it was daytime and everyone could see them, and they were just like, I'm not trying to get ratchet right now. And they kind of like the energy came down just like an inch. I didn't even wait for the chorus. I got the fuck out. Like I dropped, I think, Lose Control by Missy Elliott right after. Just doom, doom, doom. Let's go. Just went right into that. Did not waste a second because there's no time, okay? Because if you wait till the next chorus to mix out, or you somehow, for some reason, play the entire song when you dropped it, the energy came down, you have a very good chance of clearing your dance floor, and getting them back is very, very difficult, okay, during a day wedding. Once you lose them, you could lose them forever. It's true, right? They could go to their tables and then check the time and realize, you know what, we're not going to have another drink because the wedding's over in 40 minutes. Let's just dip early now. I got to get home. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go say bye to the groom. And before you know it, people are leaving. Like it is literally paper thin. Like your margin of error is paper thin, in my opinion. Like you can't give any opportunity for people to leave or get off the dance floor or anything. So mix quick, mix out if something doesn't work. Save 0 bangers. Okay? 0 bangers. You know how some of us stash bangers? Say, oh, well, I don't want to play this. It's too early for this. No, don't do that. Bust your nut early. To play everything, all of it. Give them everything you got, because you want to build the dance floor up as much as possible, because that's going to give you the biggest chance for success later on in night, right? To keep it going, because the first dance set was banging. Number 2, let's say worst case scenario, right? You have a great first dance set, but afterwards everyone leaves, and you really just can't get to that point again, and you just struggle, and then you're just left with like the soul survivors at the end, and then you end the night and that's it. Well, in that situation, at the very least, at least you had a packed dance floor up front, right? At least you had that packed dance floor. At least the photographer got pictures of it. At least there was that crazy dance set up front, and then it was a day wedding and they fizzled out and you lost them or whatever. You still had that one great dance set. You started out with a bang. It's something, right? If you save bangers, then your first dance set could possibly be right? And then your second one, less right? Or more And then before you know it, at the end, it's the same situation, but you never had a banging dance set. You never really had them, right? That's worse to me. So play everything up front. Just hit them with everything. Make their heads explode. I gave it, my first set, I gave it everything I got. I think I played like 50 songs my first set in like 30 minutes. Like it was a lot. I should have looked it up, honestly. It was a lot. And then afterwards, I'm not going to lie, I was like, all right, well, where am I going to go now? Because I played that. But still, I had them, right? That crowd raged for those 30 minutes. They sat down, ate dinner. To them, they're like, wow, I know it's a day wedding, but like people are partying, people are dancing. This is a good party. Like, I'm going to have an extra drink, right? You just motivated them. You just put them in the party mode, right? Whereas if you had a bad first dance set and they sit down for dinner, it's like, yeah, day wedding, we're going to leave early, right? They're already making plans during dinner. Let's leave like right after cake cutting. This is whack, right? You don't want that. You can't give them any chance, any possible like opportunity to leave early or to not dance, right? So save 0 bangers. And my final tip of the day for day weddings is make room for the next DJ. A lot of people don't think of this, and you can say, fuck that guy. And keep it moving, but like, I don't know. I've been there before. This venue in particular, they have an hour turnover. So in this venue in particular, Park Savoy, the wedding ended at 5. The next wedding started at 6. That's literally what they do. That's a Jersey thing, a New York thing. I don't think that's a thing everywhere. But in that situation, even if it's a 2-hour turnaround, 3-hour turnaround, if the DJ's there and they're loading their stuff in, you want to make room for them. So what I mean by that is when you're breaking down, right? Like if you take your speaker off the stand, put it to the side. Don't put it down on the ground right in front of it, right? Put it to the side. As you're breaking down your equipment, move it all outside of where you set up. That way the next DJ can come in and start setting up, right? You don't want to break down for 30 minutes and take up all the space where they can't even set up until you're completely done breaking down, right? It just doesn't make sense. And you're just going to stress the other DJ out because obviously he has responsibilities and there's not like, in my case, he had an hour before ceremony, like, you know what I mean? So he was rushing and, you just be courteous. Okay. So just make room for the next DJ, break things down accordingly, always have systems in place so you can break down quickly, definitely know the situation. If you have a day wedding, call the venue ahead of time and be like, hey, is there a wedding after mine? Is there a wedding after, and what time does it start? They'll tell you. That way you know what you're in for. I knew ahead of time that the next wedding was at 6 o'clock. I knew that I had to have my ass out of there the second we were done. So I told Santi, the whole situation. So he knew what was up, and we moved everything out of the way within 6 minutes. I think we were like out of the way so they can start setting up. So they had plenty of time, and it's just a courteous thing. I highly, highly, highly recommend you do this. And another thing too, actually speaking out loud here, play to the end. Don't stop early. Sometimes a venue might pressure you to stop early. Hey, can you just end 5 minutes early because we don't have a lot of time to flip the room, right? Or you see the DJ like on deck, just at the exit door waiting to bring his shit in, right? And you feel kind of pressured. You want to end early. Like, don't do that, okay? Because the couple paid for the whole time. You don't want to end even 5 minutes early. It's kind of a dick move, in my opinion. And actually, my couple for this wedding specifically asked me in an email, hey, could you make sure you play till 5? And I was like, well, of course, but like maybe they heard from, someone that, you end early on a day wedding, or maybe the venue said, hey, we're going to try and end 5 minutes early. Who knows why she asked that? I didn't ask. I just said, of course I will. But like, I think it's important. Okay. They paid good money for you to be there. Play to the end. Okay. Don't be a dick, and don't even leave 5 minutes for the one more song chant, because it's not easy. You're probably not going to get one. Let's be honest. All right. I mean, unless it's a really, really good crowd, it's definitely not easy. But yeah, those are my tips for day weddings. Follow them, DJs. Trust me if you're ever in the situation. That way you don't got to worry. You just don't got to worry. You're going to worry, but at least you know what to do, and you're going to put your best foot forward, and you're stacking all your cards in your favor. You're doing everything you can to keep it raging, because that's another point too. If you do everything you can, right? If you really like put yourself out there, you don't take breaks, you quick mix, you play all the bangers, you do everything you can to get them dancing. Worst case, if the party's just all right, they can't say you didn't try. They can't say you were just like, oh, it's a day wedding, this sucks, right? Because you don't want that either. You want to be like, well, the wedding wasn't crazy, but like, man, did that DJ try his ass off, right? A for effort, right? At the end of the day. So trust me.